A very warm welcome to one and all present here. Today we are going to see a PowerPoint presentation on a very grave topic, rainwater harvesting. Now, when talking about rainwater harvesting, the first questions that come to our mind is what is rainwater harvesting? Rainwater harvesting is the collection and storage of rain rather than just allowing it to run off. Rainwater is collected from a roof-like surface and redirected to either a tank, cistern, deep pit, aquifer or a reservoir. Rainwater harvesting is one of the simplest and oldest methods of self-supply of water for households, also for residential and household scale projects. It is generally financed by the user. However, with changing times, many schools, hospitals, governments also are providing facilities for rainwater harvesting. Now, everybody will ask the question, why should we do rainwater harvesting? So we will discuss the advantages that rainwater harvesting will provide by its being. First, an independent water supply. Rainwater harvesting provides an independent water supply during water restrictions. In areas where clean water is costly or difficult to come by, rainwater harvesting is a critical source. In many developed countries, rainwater is often harvested to be used as a supplemental source of water rather than the main source. But the harvesting of rainwater can also decrease a household's water cost or overall usage levels. Rainwater is safe to drink if the consumers do additional treatments before drinking. Boiling the water helps to kill germs. Adding another supplement to the system, such as a first flush diverter, is also a common procedure to avoid contaminants of the water. Second advantage would be it is useful in the situations like drought. When drought occurs, rainwater harvested can be used as a great source. If rain is scarce but also unpredictable, the use of a rainwater harvesting system can be critical to capturing the rain when it does fall. Many countries with arid environments use rainwater harvesting as a cheap and reliable source of clean water. To enhance irrigation in arid environments, ridges of soil are constructed to trap and prevent rainwater from running down hills. Even in periods of low rainfall, enough water is collected for crops to grow. Water can be collected from roofs and tanks, can be constructed to hold large quantities of rainwater. Another use could be life cycle assessment. Now, life cycle assessment is a methodology used to evaluate the environmental impacts of a system from cradle to grave of its lifetime. Devakota et al. Developed such a methodology for rainwater harvesting and found that a building design play critical roles in the environmental performance of the system. And one of the biggest use rainwater harvesting is in trend is its cost effectiveness. Although standard RWH systems, which means rainwater harvesting systems, can provide a water source to developing regions facing poverty, the average cost for an RWH setup can be costly depending on the type of technology used. Governmental aid and NGOs can assist communities facing poverty by providing the materials and education necessary to develop and maintain a rainwater harvesting setup. Now, we know that why rainwater is useful, what is rainwater, but the main question still lives. That is, how can we do it? What are the methods of rainwater harvesting? For rainwater harvesting, we generally see two types of methods. The first is surface runoff harvesting, whereas the second is called groundwater charge. Talking about the first method, it means rainwater flows away as surface runoff and can be stored for future use. Surface water can be stored by diverting the flow of small creeks and streams into reservoirs on the surface or underground. It can provide water for farming, for cattle, and also for general domestic use. Surface runoff harvesting is most suitable in urban areas. Rooftop rainwater storms runoff can be harvested in urban areas through recharge pit, recharge trench, a tube well or a recharge well. The second method, groundwater recharge, mainly talks about a hydrological process where water moves downward from a surface water to groundwater. Recharge is the primary method through which water enters an aquifer. The aquifer also serves as a distribution system. The surplus rainwater can then be used to recharge groundwater aquifer through artificial recharge techniques. Rainwater in rural areas can be harvested through gully plugs, contour bunds, dugwell recharges, percolation tanks, check dams, cement plugs, nala bunds and recharge shafts. With this PowerPoint presentation will end, but I do hope that you have got a sufficient knowledge and information about rainwater harvesting and you will try to involve it in your life. Thank you.